I have to tell one other story about Iowa that for me really exemplifies the additional virtues that come with having a grassroots small donor orientation. And that, as I said, friends and family and classmates and people who'd known the president for many years converged from all over the country on Iowa, and we did it early. And everyone was treated, no matter how big a VIP you were or how close you were to Barack Obama, everyone was treated the same. We were all given a packet and a set of doors to knock on, and the focus really was on one-to-one engagement. And I was stunned to see some of the very, some of the famous names, for example, who had joined us, served in previous administrations, they were there in the call center getting their knock packets, the same way as some kid who had taken his spring break or her spring break from college to come and work in Iowa. And I had a particular caucus district, and my job was to knock on every door in that caucus district. It was incredibly exciting for these, and that kind of face-to-face engagement that was the style of the campaign mirrored our small donor orientation. And for me, the most telling moment was I was sitting in the Starbucks in downtown Des Moines on the morning of the caucuses. And I was getting it before heading back to my caucus district one last time to knock on doors. I was having coffee with one of my classmates, and the two of us were totally bedraggled. It was freezing in Des Moines that winter, and I'd had to get completely new clothes. Everything I brought with me was inadequate for the cold in Des Moines, particularly going door to door, and of course it was all spattered with snow and salt from the roads, and we'd been up late the night before, and our hair was tousled. And the hair came down the main drag in downtown Des Moines, just sparkling. A good friend of mine who was a senior person in one of the other campaigns, who I had not seen in all the weeks, and I said, "Good morning." I introduced him to my classmate, and he was fresh, he was rested, and he was wearing a fur coat. And I said, what are you doing here? I haven't seen you." He said, "Oh, I've come in to drive people to the polls." And that was the moment in which I realized that those virtues of grassroots engagement, I knew we would win when I saw my friend in his fur coat on behalf of the other campaign. I knew we would win that day. And that was the moment in which I realized that the virtues of a small donor approach ramify down throughout the entire campaign. And it gives you, there's a set of moral values that correlate, or ethical values that correlate with that approach. I will just say a word about how we have attempted to carry those values forward in governance. It was the President's determination to inspire a conversation about these issues. And whatever you may think about our policies as to lobbyists that have been a focus of our first 100 days, and I suspect that our policies may get a somewhat warmer greeting in this room than in some others that I've been in recently. Whatever you may think of our policies, I don't think there is anybody who would say that the conversation they have inspired about the culture in Washington, the role of special interests, the need to pursue the public interest, that conversation is a powerful virtue. And I will tell you from inside the White House that there is an extraordinary, of course, we did not accept lobbyist money. We did not accept PAC money. You saw Professor Malbin's statistics on the differentiating role and the winning role that the small donor contributors played in the campaign. And that creates a powerful ethic of indebtedness where we believe, as a matter of political ethics, it should lie. And that is indebtedness to the American people and indebtedness to the public interest and the notion that we can escape from the special interests. And so we think that from a personal perspective, that the emphasis on small donors and the grassroots orientation from the campaign have carried over to our style of governance. I will tell one other story, and then I will yield the microphone. I also, in Des Moines, one of our very, very large donors, one of the biggest in the country, was there, and really all the big donors converged to do the dirty work that I'm describing. And we had our first day, it was the first day that we were formally there. And she had been dispatched, older woman, and was not going to do the rigors of door-to-door campaigning. She had been dispatched to run an office, set up and run an office in one of the remote corners of Des Moines. And we had, a number of us had dinner that night, and she came in, and I said to her, well, Cynthia, how was your day today? And she said, you know what I did today? This is one of the biggest donors in the campaign. She said, you know what I did today? I scrubbed floors. She had gone in, her job was to be the office manager of that office, and the office that we rented was not clean, and she scrubbed the floor. And to me, that says it all about the values of the campaign, and we have attempted and are attempting to carry those values over to governance. So those are some ethical reflections on the role of the small donor ethos in politics. Thank you.